What is going on, people? I have a treat for you tonight. I am going to discuss the newest Fast Furious movie in the franchise, Furious 7. And if you haven't seen it yet, you should turn this off because there's plenty of spoilers. Alright, I guarantee you this is going to be the #1 movie in the box office this weekend because 3 reasons. People love Fast and Furious franchise. This is Paul Walker's last big movie. He made the other movie, but not too many people cared about it. And the third reason people want to know, how are they going to kill him off? How does Paul Walker die in Furious 7? Because unfortunately he died in real life. That's a real tragedy, but they want to know, how does he die? How do they kill his character? And we're going to discuss that right now. So the opening scene is Jason Statham in a London hospital trying to figure out who hurt his brother. And as he leaves, he leaves a trail of security guards that he's killed and maimed just to see his brother, which he is a family member, so all he had to do was just ask and they would let him see his brother. It doesn't make any sense. Then we cut to Vin Diesel and Michelle Rodriguez driving out into the middle of the desert. To kill her? No. To help her get her memory back, because he takes her to a place, a drag strip where they started it, and she goes out, races, wins, comes back, and then we get the lovely cameo of Iggy Azalea, which makes me ask IGG, why is she in this movie? She's not even a big name really, but they had to throw in celebrities, and I guess she's a celebrity because she can rap, whatever. Anyway, she congratulates her, everybody gets around her, she freaks out, punches a cholo, and then drives off. Next scene, we see Paul Walker furiously behind the wheel of a car trying to get down the road, and you think, oh no, he's going to be going really fast, and he's a soccer mom now. He's driving a minivan, dropping his kid off at school. And this is the man who's done all kinds of things, and he doesn't know how to open a car door in a minivan, the side door. It's really sad. Then we have Michelle and Vin Diesel again at Michelle's, or Letty's, tombstone, because they thought she died a while ago, and she said he was going to smash her with a sledgehammer, and she decides to leave because she needs to find herself. Men, if a guy ever says she needs to find herself, run. In the very next scene, you have The Rock and some lady that has like a Justin Bieber haircut talking in an office, and she leaves and he starts to leave and he comes back and Jason Statham is on his computer hacking away. So not only is he a really good butt kicker, he's also a hacker and everything else. He's everyone's dream man. And he's got the British accent, so the women love him. But anyway, they start fighting back and forth, rock bottom through the table, which was nice. Then Jason Statham throws a grenade out. The Rock jumps, grabs Justin Bieber lady, and they go out a window, a few stories, and through a car, and they land on it. And she lands on him, of course, and she's fine, and he's all busted up. The very next scene is Vin Diesel at his house in Los Angeles, and he gets a mystery package from Tokyo. And then you see soccer mom Paul Walker taking the son and put him in the minivan, and the little kid throws a red Porsche, which is symbolism of the red Porsche that Paul Walker died in. Then Vin Diesel gets a phone call from Jason Statham, not knowing who he is, and Jason Statham says, "You don't know who I am, but you will know." And then without even a hitch, Vin Diesel says, "Run," or "Jump, move, get out of the way," whatever classic line they say, and the package blows up. How he knew what the package was, that it was a bomb, is impossible. And when the bomb blows up, Paul Walker is thrown against the minivan. You think, oh, this is how he's going to die, up against the minivan. That's how he's going to die, his brain splattered against the glass. But no, he's still alive. Cut to The Rock inside of a hospital, healing up, so you don't see him for another hour and a half. Big mistake. Then you get the romantic, gushy stuff between Paul Walker and his wife, of course. People think, oh, it's so sad, his character's gonna die. Then we're at the Asian guy's funeral, and Vin Diesel notices that Jason Statham's there. He chases him in his car, they go into a dark tunnel, and they begin to play a game of chicken, and they run into each other, hitting each other's cars, and only God knows how fast, because they're both going really fast, and neither one of them die, which brings me to my next point. Click it or ticket, people. It saves lives. Saves movie character lives. Anyway, they start fighting a little bit, start to fight, and then Kurt Russell pops up out of nowhere, shoots Jason Statham at him, and then Jason Statham runs away. And then Kurt Russell takes Vin Diesel to his lair to show him all the different things that he can do. Kurt Russell tells Vin Diesel everything he needs to know about God's eye It's a program where they use all the phones and TVs and any kind of electronic devices to track people, which we're not too far away from. Anyway, he tells them all that, and then he gets the group together, and they start to make a plan on how in the world they're going to get this Ramsey lady back, who is a hot nerd, and way too hot. They even say in the movie, way too hot to be an IT nerd, but nobody wants to look at a little pimply faced, chubby chick. Nobody. They come up with an insane plan on how to get to the Ramsey lady, who's in a caravan of cars and buses and things going down a mountain. And the only way they can do it is to take all 5 of the cars, put parachutes on the back, drive out the back of a big old giant airplane, and then land right there on the road, which is insane. That's all there is to it. Plain and simple. That is insane. They do it, they land there, and all of them get there except for Tyrese, because he's, of course, his character likes to complain a lot. And that's what he does the whole time. They make a plan, he complains. They try to go out a thing, he complains. He's spinning around doing nothing while everyone else is going there fighting, trying to get the Ramsey lady. There's a very exciting little bit because Paul Walker is trapped inside the giant bus because one of the Asian, bad Asian guy, whatever, he locks him inside there and it starts skidding off the side. And you think, oh no, this is how Paul Walker's gonna die. This is how his character dies. He goes off, runs up the side of the bus as it's sliding off, runs. Michelle Rodriguez turns the car, skids it around. He grabs the back fender, whatever, spoiler, I'm sorry, fender, back spoiler, and grabs it and flips out, and he's safe. So he doesn't die there. So no, he's not dead yet. In the meantime, Vin Diesel has the Ramsey hot nerd lady in the car with him, and they're cornered on the wall, on the side of the wall, side of the cliff, and there's nowhere to go. Well, he just starts driving around doing donuts. They're stirring up a lot of dust, and drives the car straight off the cliff. Doesn't get hurt, doesn't get killed, flips it over round and round, and they still live. And when they get to the bottom, they find out that the Ramsey chick has mailed the device that they need to a friend in Abu Dhabi. So now they have to go all around the world to find the device. And when they get there, they find the guy, and he has given it to a billionaire guy. So now they have to sneak in and use the device, all kinds of technical mumbo jumbo, to unlock the gate so they can go into the safe where he has it in his little fancy car. And in the meantime, Tyrese causes a diversion, and we meet Ronda Rousey, who is apparently from Abu Dhabi. I thought she was white this whole time, but she's not. She's from Abu Dhabi. Anyway, she fights Michelle Rodriguez. They go back and forth. End of that fight. Then Paul Walker and Vin Diesel take the car and they drive it through the first tall building into the second tall building. Like, oh, this is where Paul Walker's gonna die. Nope, they land in the second building. They go straight through the second building because they can't get the brakes to work, and go straight through the second one and into the third one. Oh, this is how Paul Walker's gonna die. He's gonna die right here. Nope, into the third building. And then they're trying to get the little device out of the car, and then right when they're about to run out of time, he skids it, pulls the device out, and they both jump out, and the car goes off the building, through the building, and onto the ground and blows up. Paul Walker is still alive at this point. And just a quick note on the friend who mailed the thing that he got from her, that's not a friend. They bring the device to the Ramsey lady, the hot nerd, and she uses it to make the God's Eye work. And they use it to track Jason Statham, who's off in the middle of nowhere eating his food. And they track him down, and there's a lot of shooting back and forth, back and forth. A lot of non-important people die, and then they go to the next scene. Paul Walker is still alive. Paul Walker now uses a little bit of time on the phone to talk to his wife, to tell him that he loves her, and if something were to happen, to go on and live his life with just her and her son. And then she tells him that she's having a daughter, and which makes it more emotional. Everybody's like, oh no, he's gonna die and leave 2 orphan kids. And then sometime in all that craziness, the bad guys get a hold of the God's Eye. And so, next scene is in downtown LA. So for the next 15 to 20 minutes of the movie, they're playing hot potato with that Ramsey lady trying to use her laptop to shut down God's Eye so that they can't track her and do all that kind of stuff and kill everybody with the helicopter that they have. And they also not only have a helicopter, they have a drone that's going around shooting up cars, blowing up the first car, the second car, the third car, and then they have one last car with Michelle Rodriguez, and she's driving it, and they go through a tunnel and they shoot a missile, blows up the back of her car, and they start shooting it with a drone, and it's still driving. It's still driving. The back of the car blew up and it's been shot to pieces, and it's still driving. And you think, oh, okay, well, they're gonna die. And as soon as they get through the tunnel, here comes the Rock and an ambulance out of nowhere and lands on the drone. And once again, how in God's name he was able to line it up perfectly, it would never happen. It's impossible. Anyway, he crashes through it, and then Michelle Rodriguez is thankful, and she's like, oh, where's the cavalry? He's like, woman, I am the cavalry. And he proceeds to shoot the drone camera twice, and they call it a double tap. And then he goes and takes the gun right off of the drone, starts walking around with it like he's a crazy person, but a big, strong, crazy person. Ramsey almost gets the God's Eye offline at like 97%, and then they decide, oh, let's blow up this tower so that they can't get it to 100%. They do that, so then Paul Walker has to run around, going to the top, trying to get a new signal, and he almost gets up there, and then he meets that same Asian guy that tried to kill him in the back of the bus thing. They go back and forth. He ties into something heavy, throws him off the side, and kills him. So he gets him back. And once again, Vin Diesel and Jason Statham play a game of car chicken on top of a parking garage, and they go at each other. Vin Diesel revs his car up, goes on top of it, and they start shooting at each other. And then they get into a decent fight with car parts and giant wrenches. Go back and forth, back and forth. And then the helicopter decides, forget it, I'm going to kill Jason Statham. And instead of shooting Jason Statham with a rocket, it shoots below him to make the parking garage collapse. And he's on the side of it, and then, what's his name, Vin Diesel does some kind of Hulk smash onto the ground, breaking the parking garage, making Jason Statham fall to the next level below with a bunch of rocks falling on and around him. And it doesn't kill him, but just leaves him there. And then at that time, then the helicopter starts shooting at Michelle Rodriguez and them, and so Vin Diesel looks around and sees this ramp that has been made out of the parking garage and decides to use his car to jump it like he's Tony Hawk on a skateboard. He grabs the bag full of grenades, and he revs up his car, drives up, hits the ramp, drives up right next to the helicopter. It turns, he barely skids, and then he crashes his car. And then The Rock, without being told, knows exactly that the grenades are in the bag, pulls out a handgun, shoots it, and blows up the helicopter. And then everyone starts crying, and they run over to Vin Diesel to try to bring him back to life. And Michelle Rodriguez at that point confesses that she remembers everything, and it's just like a woman to tell you when it's too late. But fortunately for her, he came back to life, and everyone was happy. Next thing you know, you see Jason Statham handcuffed and walking down the hall, and he's right in front of The Rock, and he's being locked away for a long, long time in a very secure prison that I guarantee you, if it was real, that would be all of our tax money spent holding this guy when they could take a bullet and kill him. I don't doubt that there's stuff like that in real life. Cut to the very final scene. It's on a beach, and it's everybody in the movie, all the Fast and Furious crew. They're all there being happy and having fun, and they just start talking about how Paul Walker needs to go on and live the family life. No more Furious, no more Fast, no more anything. And they just talk about how it's not going to be the same without him. And then you see Vin Diesel drive down the road and Paul Walker drive up beside him, and then they split paths. So he does not die in the movie, which kind of made me mad, because I was like, oh, they're gonna kill him, but they didn't kill him. They just can't think, oh, he's gonna die, oh, he's gonna die, oh, he's gonna die, nope, and he never died. Anyway, they cut to and show a little heartwarming montage of him throughout the movies, and he never really died. So, my final thoughts. If I had to give it a scale on 1 to 10, 1 being horrible and 10 being great, I would give it a 4. I know that's going to make a lot of people angry, but hey, that's my opinion. It didn't seem realistic at all. I understand the movie is not real. You're supposed to use your imagination and be like, oh, well, it's a movie, it's not supposed to be real. Well, at least make it seem real. If it's a James Bond movie, there's a lot of things that aren't real, but there's only one guy doing it, and it happens every 15-20 minutes. It's not 14 people doing wild and crazy things every 5 seconds, like jumping from place to place, landing on things they shouldn't be landing on, blowing up and not blowing up, dodging bullets and living and all kinds of stuff. It's just not realistic at all. You need more Rock in the movie. He was in there for like 20 minutes. That's not enough. If you haven't seen the movie, I would highly recommend it to anyone who doesn't have a grasp of gravity or physics or how long it takes to heal after flying off a cliff. Spoiler, it takes longer than 3 minutes or a scene change. Anyway, those are my thoughts. That's what happened in the movie. Like it, subscribe, share, comment. Tell me I'm an idiot. Tell me I'm a genius. I don't care. Tell me whatever you want. It's YouTube. I'm curious, what do you think? Like I said, the last ones weren't realistic, but this one took the cake. The whole cake. And probably like 3 other cakes too. Well, like I said, let me know what you think. Peace.